Hey friends, as always, just want to thank you for your support of Studio Wesley. And I'm here with just another leadership moment, and I pray that it's encouraging for you. I was thinking a couple of days ago, I was sitting with one of our staff members here in CCW Studio Wesley, and um, they got something wrong. And it wasn't really that big of a deal. But it kind of messed with them. They're like, I didn't really want to get that wrong. And I realized just how much I identified with that moment of like realizing that you just didn't get it right. And I want to just say, if anybody's with me, like those moments where like you made a mistake, not your fault, or you really thought that your logic was the logic that was going to work and it didn't work. And I'll just say that in the midst of COVID, we've been wrong 5,000 times simply because there's a global pandemic and none of us know how to navigate it. And what I want to say to you all today is that if we're going to get to the future that I believe God has for us, we're going to have to be okay with getting some things wrong. I mean, this is how I think about the disciples, right? Like, if the disciples rolled up at the beginning of that 3-year journey with Jesus, having all of the answers and being able to answer every question and get them exactly right, then what would have been the point of following Jesus those 3 years? Like, in order for them to learn, particularly learning in that hands-on way, they're just going to have to get some things wrong. And I know how difficult it is as someone who kind of is a perfectionist. Like, it really just depends on the thing. I don't really care that much about, getting, I don't know, certain things right. Like, I don't care if I get food right if I don't cook well. I don't really care if like I'm not the best driver. I really don't care if I'm good at sports. But good God, like if I'm going to talk about history or if I'm going to talk about like, how to take care of people, how to lead people and I get something wrong, I'm like going to avoid the acknowledgement of getting things wrong as much as I can, which is the question, what are the spaces that you avoid when you know you're wrong? What are the moments that you could actually acknowledge, oh, I missed that, but it's so close, so personal for you that you're like, actually, no, it's that person's fault. Oh, we couldn't do that because of all these things, when actually, no, you got something wrong. Like I said, we will not learn if we are not A, willing to get things wrong, and B, willing to acknowledge that we've gotten things wrong. And that even takes us into conversations about failure. But friends, like failure can be its own teacher. Failure has a way of showing us literally the big blind spots, the things that we don't know yet, the things we need to learn, even the ways that we need to be taught. Literally, somebody else who has more expertise to come alongside us and say, actually, you should do it like this. And so one hope I have for you is that even in the age of COVID, that you would consider ways that you could grow your capacity for being wrong. To get bigger so that you might, I did sort of sit up, right? To get bigger so that you can contain the moments that you fail. Because failure doesn't have to be final. You've heard that statement. Failure doesn't have to mean everything. In fact, failure can show you what you need to do next so that next time the failure is just a little bit less. So one, we got to grow the capacity to be wrong. And two, and maybe this should have been one, and it's fine, like both are kind of equal. We've got to be willing to say those moments that we got things wrong. Even if we only got like 20% of it wrong, we've got to be willing to say that out loud so that we can get the help that we need. And here's what I know about college students. College students need to see people who are willing to acknowledge the moments that they missed it. They need to know that it's okay to not get it right and to not just be told, hey, I don't always get things right, but like to be told in real time, like, oh, I missed that. So let me just say that of many mistakes that I've already made just in this like video, I was trying to record another video just a few moments ago, and like we went through 2 takes and I still wasn't getting it out right. Like, and some of it has to do with my own preparation. Some of it has to do with just always the nervousness in front of the camera. And some of it is just these things take time. And I need to give myself space to breathe and So I just wasn't getting that particular video right. It doesn't mean I'm not a good campus minister. It doesn't mean that there isn't going to be something good that comes of this. But man, I'm hoping that folks who are listening to this, whether you are a leader of college students or just have some college age young adults in your sphere of influence, I hope you'll be willing to kind of do the same thing I'm doing right now and just to say, yeah, I didn't get that right. Yeah, I kind of missed that. No, I didn't kind of miss that. I actually really royally failed that. It doesn't have to be final. It doesn't have to be the end. But it may actually give the kind of example that the next generation needs to see. It may relieve some of their stress to know that the people they're looking up to also make mistakes and even fail. So my hope is that you'll build the capacity for getting things wrong, because that's the only way that we can learn. And I hope that you'll be willing to articulate the moments that you do get things wrong, because it may actually make you appear more human to the folks who are following you. Thanks so much for your support of Studio Wesley. Just know that we're praying for you and cheering for you. Be well, my friends.